tax the rich, feed the poor, till there are no rich no more. I love to change the world, but I don't know what to do. So I leave it up to you. Hello, YouTubers. Music Core here, and this is my episode 3 of God's a Guitar, and this is, in my opinion, one of the most underrated guitar players of all time, in Alvin Lee. Now, for those of you who don't know Alvin Lee, or even really know about him or what he accomplished, just look up Woodstock 10 years after I'm Going Home. And that song just pretty much does it. For anyone who says, is Alvin Lee in that list, that just proves it right there. Now about Alvin Lee, he was a part of many bands in the early 60s around England, especially the Nottingham area, and just really him and his buddy Leo Lyons, who, if you ever seen 10 Years After play, he can play just as fast as Alvin Lee, but he's on bass. Like, a bass player that could keep up to the guitar player was pretty damn cool. Now, albums that 10 Years After / Alvin Lee released include 10 Years After, Undead, Stonehenge, Cookwood Greens, What, A Space and Time, Rock and Roll Meets the World, Positive Vibrations, Rocket Fuel, Ride On, Pump Iron, In Flight. And also, and this was sort of the thing, is Alvin Lee could play really well. And if you're talking about mid-60s, rock and roll, even early 70s, a lot of people know Clapton, they know Beck, they know Jimmy Page, they know Hendrix. But Alvin Lee is sort of one of those forgotten masters of guitar. And yeah, it's really awesome. Like, Alvin Lee, his coming out party, for the most part, was Woodstock in 1969, and it did wonders for him, because out of all the acts that played that festival and everything, I think 10 Years After was the best band. They stole the show from Jimi Hendrix, really. If you'll think about it, he played a Monday. 10 Years After was the last act on Sunday, and just blew me away with the 10-minute plus epic masterpiece known as I'm Going Home. Oh yeah, go home. Oh my baby, baby, I'm going home. And I just love that song. It's just great to listen to it. And just watching Alvin Lee and even Leo Lyons just keeping up on bass, just like, it's just Alvin Lee just going like masterfully, like, and all this stuff, and you got Leo Lyons on bass just going just really keeping up on bass, and it's like, oh my god. And yeah, after that concert at Woodstock, somebody put a watermelon on the stage, and some people have said it was to signify the ballsiness of Alvin Lee to do that at Woodstock. Just play, I think they only played one song, but it was just such a great song. And yeah, that was that. And I think after that, Alvin Lee also started to become known as a well-versed guitar player. A lot about that. And at one point, I believe he was known as the fastest guitar player in the world. Like, which is actually saying something for a guy to be considered at one point the fastest guitar player. Which I'd say pre-speed metal. Like, I'm not even sure. I think that's where you could hear, like, the starts of what would become stuff like thrash and even 80s metal. Really, that's the start of it, was Alvin Lee. Then you get and it seemed they worked a lot and toured a lot, released albums, and then they released an album by the name of In Space and Time, and just really blew me away with one song there called I'd Love to Change the World, which is known as their most famous song they ever did. But the song is so simple, it's so beautiful sounding, and starting off the trying to remember, just a very easy, soft opening to it, and then it goes into everywhere is freaks and harris, dykes and fairies, tell me where is sanity. And it was sort of like the whole 60s and early 70s rolled up just into one song, like the whole where do we go now type feeling. And I just love the chorus to the song, and it's like, I'd love to change the world, but I don't know what I'd do, so I'm leaving it up to you. And it just worked really well, like, to hear this. And even songs that he did earlier, like oh god, what's the name of that one song? Woke Up This Morning off the album Shh, which was a great song. Woke up this morning, and you can really hear the elements of the blues to 10 years after. Good Morning Little Schoolgirl, Wake Up Little Schoolgirl, or something like that. It was one of their other songs they did that was really good. But no, even other bands, like, what's Alvin Lee's legacy? Is Alvin Lee is still, to me, a founder of a style that him, Richie Blackmore, also you could throw in, not to the extent of blues rock, but hard rock and all that. He was blues rock's Richie Blackmore, in a way, like, because if you listen to stuff like Deep Purple and rock, you can hear where these two guys really had that instance of let's see what we can do and how much faster we can go with what we were doing, and it happened. You could say himself, even Peter Frampton you could throw in there with his epic masterpiece, Do You Feel Like We Do? But yeah, just Alvin Lee is one of those guys that I think was just there and ahead of his time, really. Think about it, and how many guitar players back then can you say that about? Like, just always seemed like they were so far ahead of their time that just worked well. And yeah, so that's my Gods of Guitar video, episode 3, Alvin Lee. Be sure to like, subscribe. I have a pretty good idea, I think I'll just say it right now. The next one I'm going to do is the artist known as God to a bunch of people. There's a hint to ya. So, yeah. This is Music Horror. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment down below if you like. Peace.